Well, Ian, we'll start with Tuesday night. I mean, it was a scrappy, hard-fought win against a dogged Barnet side. I mean, are they the kind of games you probably enjoy the most as a defender?
Yeah, to be honest, we know when we're coming up against the opposition that there's going to be elements of the game that we're going to have to do and dig in and really sort of throw bodies on the line. And Barnet obviously was the same, and we spoke about them having a bit of a freedom of being able to play, and the manager that came in, getting them to obviously play. And we felt that at their place, although they're the lowly position in the league, individually they've got some great players, and that's obviously the same for a lot of the teams in this league. And we can't underestimate, and obviously we got into the game really well and started on the front foot, and I felt if we'd have probably took a couple of the other chances that we had, alongside the goal that we took early, it could have gone the same way as a couple of the other games like Woking and the Solihull. So in terms of the task, we started really well, but we knew obviously that they'd take up positions that would trouble us and worry us, and sort of make the game difficult with our patterns of play that we were trying. So we knew that obviously it was going to be a case of what happens in both 18-yard boxes, and if we took care of the stuff that was against us well, that we've got the quality that'll go and get us the goals and get us the win, and that's what happened. And it was nice to see we sort of turned a corner on that, because I think earlier on in the season that might have just finished as a stalemate, and obviously a couple of more drop points wouldn't have been good for us. So it's great to see, and there's a big confidence boost in the fact that it wasn't just a 5-0 win, but it was a really important victory.
I mean, you mentioned there it was a flying start to the game, and it was you, of course, that got us up and running early on. Just your second goal of the season. I mean, it's felt a long time coming, that one for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked on lots of stuff as a group, trying to get different individuals onto the end of the crosses and the set pieces and things. And obviously, I've tried just the same as everyone. That just didn't seem to have crossed the line at the time. So it was good to contribute that way, because obviously, if the team's not scoring goals, you can't just point fingers at attackers and wingers and things. It's a collective group, and defenders and sort of defensive midfielders can also contribute. So it's nice that one's gone in, and it's nice that it looked like the set piece worked, but we actually got it slightly wrong, but it worked in our favour. And yeah, it's like you say, covering the zones and sort of getting on the end, and like I said, at the other end, throwing bodies on the line. It's throwing bodies on the line in the attacking box as well, and there's a lot of areas that we get crosses and good positions in the pitch. So it's about sort of the desire to get on the end of it, and myself and a few of the other boys have been showing that in training, and it was good that it worked out on the pitch.
Obviously, we did concede a goal on Tuesday, but when you look at the defensive record in general, that was the first goal we conceded in 5 games at Edgeley Park. It's 7 clean sheets in 11 games since the new manager's come in. What's clicked for you defensively, in your opinion?
No, obviously, yeah, really pleased in that aspect. We've played a couple of different sort of formations with the 3 and the 4, and there's been different partnerships and personnel. And I felt, we was conceding at the start of the season, but when we was analysing it, we was trying to pinpoint. We was conceding a lot of sort of sloppier goals. It wasn't that a good goal had beaten us, and we were trying to address it, and maybe we was overthinking it too much. And I think we've sort of relaxed a bit more in our defensive shape as a team of 11, and there's less things that are coming into the box. There's less sort of rash decisions that are made around the box in terms of maybe fouls or poor clearances and things. And I think we've just tidied up that whole aspect. And like I said, just a drive for the back lads to keep things solid. And we've spoke about when we're on the ball how the other team are probably at their most dangerous, because the possession-based style we play, teams will probably look to counter or sit in on the low block and obviously spring a few attacks. So it's making sure that as a group at the back we're communicating and make sure the areas of the pitch are locked off, and we're first to headers and clearances. And I think, like you say, to a man, we've done that really well in the last sort of few games. And we were disappointed with the goal we conceded, but all credit to Barnet for pushing like they did to get that goal. And I'm sure if they play like that a bit more, they'll probably take some points as they get on into the back end of the season. So really happy, and I think obviously it still gives us something to look at to improve as well.
You mentioned the possession-based style of play there, and that's been one of the most interesting things really to see develop since Simon Russ come in, that playing out of the back. I mean, what's that been like for you, that transition to this new style of play? Because you seem to have adapted to it pretty well so far.
Yeah, no, I think obviously in a team you've got to be comfortable in having the ball, and not sort of take risks that you're going to be silly with it. But the fact that teams will probably look to set up defensively against you because of who you are and how you've been going in the season so far, and we've got to look to find different ways of breaking those teams down. And you know, if we've got the extra number at the back in the 3 or the 2, be it if they only have 1 up top, that we need to be sort of looking to work it out, as well as just playing good territory in good areas. But I think what we have had is a good mixture of both of those. So we know when we need to go into the space in behind, we've used it, but when we've looked to play out and through the lines, we've done that also. And like I said, it's just a collective group of just knowing, you know, you're taking on a responsibility for the rest of the lads, and if it doesn't quite work out, your mates around to cover and lock it back off again, so that, you know, those mistakes don't cost anything. And I think if you've got a belief in all your teammates that they can take the ball under pressure and things like that, then you're going to create a lot more chances rather than just sort of playing safe and hoping that you're going to get on the end of 50-50s and things like that. So the structure that we've got in place now, and a couple of patterns of the plays that we've worked with the new gaffer have looked at sort of pitch. He's talked about pitch geography to us and where we're standing on the pitch and how that makes it easier to make those passes. And the boys have, you know, like a sponge in there. It's a really good group, and they're just open and accepting all the new information that's coming to them. And I think you've sort of seen that over the last couple of games now, and then being taken out onto the pitch.
Obviously, we've touched on already, the team's getting a lot of praise at the minute for the defensive record, but you're also individually getting a lot of praise at the minute for your performances over the last couple of months. Do you feel like you're in the best form of your county career at the minute?
Yeah, I actually believe that obviously with game time and, you know, when the games start coming thick and fast, that's when I feel like I'm at my best, when I'm just going into the next game. I take a lot of my positivity, whether it's from a defeat, a draw or a win, and I stay sort of level-headed throughout. And obviously the end product is to be judged at the end of the 42 game season, whatever it might be now. And I think that drive to go and achieve another promotion and look at the group that I've got with me now and see similarities in other teams that I've had when I've had promotions with. I really want this group to go and do something, because I believe it can. And I'm just using my experiences from, you know, different points of the season of what happened previously with myself, and just to encourage the other lads to, you know, keep going. It is a long journey, and also it looks like obviously, you know, Sutton has set the pace at the minute, but things can change. And I've said that, you know, it's a roller coaster of a season, and obviously when you've got the captain's armband and things like that, people are going to be looking around at some of the senior players to step up and sort of be that person that they can look to. And I think if I can drive the rest of the lads on with my performances, and others can look, you know, you've got the likes of Sam Minion and Jordan Keane and you know, Lois Maynard and those types of players, you know, John Rooney's, who, you know, have all been successful, and, you know, they're turning week out excellent performances. And it just gives the group a massive confidence to know that they can have those reliable lads within the group that, you know, big games like Sutton and even the week that's coming up, you know, we can hopefully take care of it.
I mean, just looking at Sutton, they've obviously really gone from strength to strength since that win at Edgeley Park. That was obviously a frustrating day for everyone that day, but I think for you in particular, with the red card that was then overturned, does that add a bit of an extra edge for this one going into this one? No,
nothing individually for me. It's obviously I'm still a small piece of the jigsaw, and as long as I make sure, you know, I do my part in my area of the pitch and stuff, then, like I said, I'll trust the other 10 lads that they'll do theirs, and we'll have a different result than the one that we had. And yeah, there was a bit of madness over, you know, a bit of chaos in that game and things like that. And obviously it's something I've learnt, another experience, you know, as a part of my journey. And I think what the group now has is this sort of bit more of a mental resilience, that there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be shouting for things and asking for things and just trying to slow the game down and try and upset our rhythm, really. And I think if we can just look past that and just continue with what we're doing, it might take us, you know, 70 minutes, 80 minutes before we get the breakthrough of that, you know, like we did on Tuesday night. But if we just keep, you know, moving the way that we do and sort of black out the, you know, things like that happened at Eastleigh and those types of games where it sort of gets a bit bitty and you get a bit emotional about some of the decisions and things, and that takes away from your full focus. So, like I said, for the group, that's something we need to learn, because, like I've said, Stockport are the big fish this year, that people want to, you know, they either want to beat you or they want to come and show and what ability they've got to be looked at to even come and play, because of the way that this club's moving. It's so exciting, you know, it'll turn heads at any club. So the good thing is we're all grounded here and want to do well and continue on this journey with the club. So you know, Saturday, whatever the result might be, we're going to go out there and give our best, and hopefully it's enough to start clawing back some points, because I do believe this group's got it in them to go all the way.
Just finally, Liam, I know the manager is a big believer in the next game always being the biggest one in your career, but when you look at the league table and the context of the title race right now, does this Saturday feel like the biggest game of the season so far?
I think obviously with them being the pace setters, they're the leaders, they're the ones to beat. I didn't see too much in the game when we played them that would suggest they would be that far out in front of us, and that's credit to them first and foremost, that they're getting through games the way that they are, because as you've seen in every single fixture round that we have, there's upsets and results that you sort of look at, and we've had a couple of those this year, and they've not. They've had 4 defeats up to now, which is a fantastic record to keep, and they do pose a threat. But like I said, we can only go and give our best account of ourselves, and obviously we'll take the learning curves from the game at home and look to build on that and push what we're doing now onto them. Ask a few more questions of them and see if they've got the answers. And I'm sort of really optimistic in the fact that I think if we can pick up a result and pick up a couple of results in the next few weeks, I think you might start to see this machine moving a little bit, which is something that we all want here. Because I think probably you look back at the season so far, the word you'd say is probably inconsistent. And I think we've started to find that level of consistency within performance, in terms of the possession, the control of the game, and the work that we've been doing in both boxes. So yeah, it's really positive, and it's obviously moving in the right direction.
Great stuff, Liam. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.